the deepest question, the one that whispers to us in quiet moments or screams in the raw aftermath of loss, isn't really about what happens times to us, times after death. It's about what happens to times them asterisk. More specifically, it's about whether they are still, in some fundamental way, connected to us. The profound yearning isn't for an abstract heaven or a peaceful oblivion, but for a reunion, for the faces we miss, the voices we long to hear again, the touch we remember. It's the question of whether our loved ones, those who have walked on ahead, are simply gone, or if they are in fact waiting. This isn't just a comfort or a hope. For many, it's an intrinsic part of what it means to be human, to love, and to grapple with the finality of existence. We grapple with the silence, the void they leave behind, and in that space, the idea of them waiting, watching, anticipating our arrival takes root. It's a concept so powerful, it has shaped civilizations, inspired religions, and provided solace through countless generations of grief. But beyond the comfort, what does it truly mean? What form would such a waiting take? Is it an active vigil, a timeless presence, or something else entirely, beyond our current comprehension of time and space? It's a question that cuts to the very core of our understanding of consciousness, identity, and the enduring nature of love itself. This isn't about mere belief. It's about exploring the human narrative of connection that refuses to be severed, even by death, and what that narrative suggests about the fabric of reality. We stand at the threshold of a mystery, one that every culture, every spiritual tradition, and countless individual souls have pondered. When we talk about loved ones waiting, we're not just discussing a philosophical point. We're touching upon the very essence of human experience, the fear of ultimate solitude, and the profound desire for eternal connection. The thought of those who have passed being in some state of active anticipation for our arrival is profoundly comforting. Yet it also raises a myriad of other questions. Are they aware of our lives now, the struggles and joys we navigate in their absence? Do they perceive time as we do? Or is their waiting a timeless state, perhaps even outside the linear progression we understand? This concept isn't monolithic. It shifts and takes on different forms across belief systems, yet the core sentiment remains strikingly similar. The journey beyond isn't necessarily a solitary one. It's a journey toward reunion. Consider for a moment the sheer diversity of human perspectives on this very topic. In many Abrahamic faiths, like Christianity, the concept of a heavenly reunion is a cornerstone of hope. Believers often envision a celestial gathering, a place where loved ones, made whole, glorified, recognize, and embrace each other. The imagery is rich with joy, peace, and an end to all suffering, with the ultimate promise being an eternal life in the presence of the divine, alongside those they cherished on earth. The resurrection of the body, for instance, isn't just about individual salvation. It implies a restoration of community, of family, in a perfected state. This isn't a passive waiting, but an active, hopeful expectation, often pictured as a joyful welcome when one crosses over. Similarly, in Islamic tradition, while the focus is heavily on individual accountability and the judgment of deeds, the concept of Jannah, or paradise, frequently includes the reunion of families. The Quran speaks of righteous parents, spouses, and descendants being reunited, elevated to the same rank, and enjoying eternal bliss together. There's a profound emphasis on companionship in the afterlife, suggesting that the bonds forged in this life, when righteous, continue and are strengthened. The period between death and the day of judgment, known as barzakh, is often understood as a waiting period, where souls might have some awareness of their past lives and their ultimate destination, an awareness that could certainly include an anticipation of those they left behind. Stepping into Eastern philosophies, the landscape shifts, yet the underlying current of connection persists. In Hinduism, the cycle of reincarnation, or samsara, suggests a continuous journey of the soul, or atman, through various forms until it achieves moksha, liberation from the cycle. While the idea of individual loved ones waiting in a static sense might not be as explicit as in Western traditions, the interconnectedness of all souls and the eventual merging with the ultimate reality, Brahman, implies a grander, more cosmic form of reunion. Loved ones might not be waiting in a specific location, but their souls are part of the same ultimate journey. And in some traditions, the concept of ancestor worship and offerings acknowledges a continued spiritual presence and influence. The idea of karma and dharma often means that families might be reunited in subsequent lives, working out their spiritual paths together again. Buddhism, with its emphasis on impermanence and the dissolution of the ego, offers a different lens. The concept of a permanent, unchanging self that waits is not central. Instead, the focus is on the continuous flow of consciousness, rebirth, and the eventual attainment of nirvana, the cessation of suffering. However, compassion and loving kindness extend to all beings, and the interconnectedness of all life is a core teaching. While a personal, ego-driven reunion might not be the direct aim, the profound karmic bonds between individuals can lead to rebirths within similar spheres, or with opportunities to influence each other's spiritual paths. The idea of bodhisattvas, those who delay their own nirvana to help others, inherently carries a sense of spiritual waiting and guidance for those still on their journey. Beyond these established religious frameworks, we find profound insights emerging from anecdotal accounts, particularly near-death experiences, or NDEs. These experiences, reported by individuals who have clinically died and been resuscitated, often share striking commonalities. A recurring theme in NDEs is the encounter with deceased loved ones. People describe seeing family members, friends, and even pets who appear youthful, vibrant, and filled with love. These reunions are often described as profoundly comforting, filled with unspoken understanding and an overwhelming sense of peace. The deceased loved ones frequently appear to be there specifically to guide or greet the individual, sometimes communicating messages of reassurance or gently indicating that it's not yet their time. While NDEs remain within the realm of personal experience and are not scientific proof, their consistency across diverse cultures and individuals provides a powerful narrative of a welcoming committee and active presence beyond the veil. The sheer emotional impact and transformative effect of these experiences on the individuals who undergo them cannot be overstated, often leading to a complete reevaluation of life, death, and the nature of consciousness. Philosophically and psychologically, the very notion of loved ones waiting serves several crucial functions for the living. It provides an immense source of comfort in the face of profound grief. The idea that death is not an absolute end to connection, but rather a temporary separation, allows individuals to navigate loss with a sense of enduring hope. It transforms the finality of death into a pause, a transition point, making the pain of absence more bearable. Psychologically, this belief can be a healthy coping mechanism, allowing the bereaved to maintain a sense of continued bond with the deceased. It helps in the meaning-making process after a loss, providing a framework through which to understand and integrate the experience of death into one's life narrative. The concept of waiting also implies a continuity of identity, suggesting that the unique personality, the love, and the essence of the individual persist beyond physical demise. This reassures us that the person we loved is still times them asterisk, not simply absorbed into an undifferentiated consciousness, but maintaining a distinct, albeit transformed, presence. So, if our loved ones are waiting, how might they do it? This is where our human understanding of time and space becomes entirely inadequate. For us, waiting implies a linear progression, a clock ticking, but in many spiritual conceptions of the afterlife, time is experienced differently, if it exists at all, in the way we comprehend it. It could be that their waiting is not a temporal process, but rather a state of being, an eternal present where our separation is perceived not as an endless void, but as a momentary delay from a timeless perspective. Perhaps they exist in a dimension where past, present, and future are all simultaneously accessible, or where their awareness is attuned to a higher frequency that transcends our earthly limitations. Some theories, especially those touching on quantum physics and consciousness, even suggest that consciousness itself might not be bound by physical laws, implying that our loved one's awareness could be a non-local phenomenon, present everywhere and nowhere, yet still capable of recognizing and connecting with us. This is where the profound mystery truly deepens, asking us to shed our conventional understanding and embrace possibilities beyond our current scientific grasp. The why behind this pervasive human belief in waiting loved ones is perhaps even more compelling. It speaks to an intrinsic human need for purpose, meaning, and connection that transcends the biological imperative. Love, arguably the most powerful human emotion, seems to resist the notion of absolute annihilation. If love is real, if our bonds are genuine, then the idea that death erases them completely feels fundamentally at odds with our deepest intuitions. The belief that loved ones are waiting reinforces the idea that love itself is eternal, a force that continues to bind us even across the greatest divide. It gives meaning to our present lives, knowing that our actions, our growth, our very existence are somehow observed or anticipated by those who cherish us from another plane. It encourages us to live lives worthy of that eventual reunion, to carry on their legacy, and to prepare ourselves for whatever lies beyond. This isn't about blind faith alone. It's about the profound psychological and spiritual sustenance this belief provides, enabling individuals to endure sorrow and find purpose in the face of impermanence. What if, however, this isn't the case? What if there is no conscious waiting, no specific reunion? Humanity, in its resilience, still finds ways to cope. Even in the absence of a literal reunion, loved ones live on in our memories, in the stories we tell, in the impact they had on our lives, and in the ripple effects of their existence that continue to shape the world. Legacy, the continuation of their values and influence, becomes a form of immortality. But the yearning for a more personal, conscious connection, for them to actually times be their asterisk, remains a deeply ingrained hope. It's a testament to the power of human attachment, a refusal to believe that the profound connections forged in life are simply extinguished. Ultimately, the question of whether our loved ones are waiting for us after death is one that speaks to the very core of our being, touching on our deepest hopes, our most profound fears, and our unyielding desire for connection. It's a question that transcends simple religious doctrine, becoming a universal human inquiry into the nature of existence, consciousness, and the enduring power of love. The responses humanity has crafted, from detailed theological frameworks to the compelling narratives of NDEs, all point towards a compelling narrative that death, while a profound transition, may not signify an ultimate end to our most cherished relationships. Instead, it suggests a continuation, a grander tapestry of connection, where those who have gone before us are not simply absent, but are, in some profound and mysterious way, part of a welcoming embrace that awaits us. It leaves us with the enduring comfort that the bonds of love, once forged, might truly be eternal, simply paused until the moment we are called to join